This week's multiple choice Monday is about potassium dichromate and organic chemistry, and potassium dichromate is an oxidizing agent. So one of the first things we need to know is what can be oxidized by dichromate and what can't. So dichromate takes an OH group and removes a hydrogen from the OH and a hydrogen from the adjacent carbon to make a C double bond O, and it is also able to react with aldehydes to make a carboxylic acid. So it has two things it can do. It can either remove hydrogen atoms, which is oxidation, loss of hydrogen, or it can add oxygen, which is also obviously oxidation. And that means that the functional groups that it can react with are primary alcohols. I'm going to use that shorthand. Primary alcohols and secondary alcohols, and also aldehydes. So dichromate cannot react with tertiary alcohols, and that is because tertiary alcohols, they have an OH group, but they don't have an adjacent hydrogen. They have 3 R groups attached. So that's more than likely what I'm going to be looking for. If I look down my options, I can see that the bottom one is an aldehyde, and I know that straight away from the structural formula because CHO shows me an aldehyde. So let's have a look at the other ones in terms of turning their structure into, are they primary, secondary or tertiary aldehydes? And that is mostly what people struggle with in these questions. It's not because they don't understand what dichromate does. So looking at A, we've got 2 CH3 groups. Lots of people try and join them together. They can't be joined together. They have to be joined to one carbon. That's why they're in brackets. And that carbon has an H and that carbon has an OH. So that has 2 hydrogens attached, one to the oxygen and one to the adjacent carbon. That can be oxidized because it is a secondary alcohol. Now let's have a look at B. B also has those 2 CH3 groups attached to the one carbon, and then there is an OH and another CH3. So actually that could have been written CH3, but this is just one of those things that examiners do. That is a tertiary alcohol, which is why it can't be oxidized. If we check C, C has CHOH in the middle of the chain, which means that it has an H and an OH on the same carbon, and then next to that there is a CH3, and then on the other side a CH2, don't know what happened to my pen there, and a CH3. So that is a secondary alcohol. So that is why B cannot be oxidized. If you're struggling with a structural formula like that, it's a really good idea just to get different compounds like the displayed formula and practice turning them into structural formula and skeletal formulae so you can get the idea of how they would be written, and vice versa. If you want a little bit more help and you want some regular chemistry updates and you're not already a member of Cation Club, all you have to do is let me know your email address and I can sign you up for either Year 12 or Year 13 regular revision content. There's also other stuff on my website which I'm going to update over the next few weeks, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos every week as well.